On the Aegean Sea in the Lilduin H century BC, a merchant ship carried a special passenger to southern Italy, dressed in a white robe, with a persistent search for the origin of the world in his eyes. This person was Pythagoras. When he established that mysterious community integrating religion, philosophy and science in Croton, he might not have thought that the mathematical laws he discovered through the vibration ratio of harp strings would become the fulcrum to lever the later scientific revolution. From the deafening declaration that numbers are the origin of all things to the Pythagorean theorem that still influences today, this ancient Greek philosopher composed an eternal harmonious movement for the universe with numbers, making human beings realize for the first time that hidden behind the numerous phenomena is the precise rhythm of mathematics. Pythagoras' great breakthrough began with the observation of harp strings. When he found that when the ratio of the lengths of the harp strings was a simple integer, the emitted tones would form harmonious intervals. E-R produces an octave, R-sen forms a fifth, and sen-se forms a fourth. This seemingly accidental discovery made him firmly believe that the essence of the universe is numbers. Not only music follows numerical proportions, but also the movement of stars, the change of seasons, and even the human soul are governed by mathematical laws. This kind of thinking that connects abstract numbers with the concrete world pioneered Western rationalism. He divided numbers into odd and even, believing that the former represents finiteness and the latter symbolizes infinity, and the combination of the two constitutes the balance of the universe. In his system, E is the beginning of all things, symbolizing reason. R represents opinion, the beginning of division. Sen means harmony, because it combines the beginning and the middle. And sheer is regarded as the most perfect number. The triangle formed by adding E, R, Sen, and C has become the totem of his secret society, known as the sacred tetractys. This kind of mysterious worship of numbers, although mixed with primitive cosmology, gave birth to the seeds of pure mathematics. The most famous contribution of the Pythagorean school is the geometric theorem named after him. The sum of the squares of the two right sides of a right triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. But what is little known is that the discovery of this theorem once caused a crisis of faith in the school. When they calculated the length of the diagonal of a square, they found that its ratio to the side length could not be expressed by integers or fractions. That is, R is an irrational number. This discovery of incommensurability shook the core belief that all things are numbers, rational numbers. It is said that Hippasus, the discoverer, was thus thrown into the sea. This crisis just proves the tension between scientific spirit and mysticism in Pythagoras' thought, and also foreshadows the tortuous path of mathematical development. The Pythagorean community in Croton was more like a spiritual group, practicing strict precepts. Members had to go through a 5-year period of silence, only being able to listen to teachings. They shared property, lived a vegetarian life, and were forbidden to eat beans. Reason is still a mystery. Some people think that beans are similar to testicles, symbolizing the mystery of life. Initiates had to swear never to disclose the secrets of the school, and this tradition of secrecy makes it difficult for later generations to distinguish the ideological boundaries between Pythagoras himself and his disciples. The educational system of the community integrated the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and music. Students understood the structure of the universe by studying the properties of numbers, cultivated logical thinking by drawing geometric figures, verified mathematical models by observing the movement of stars, and explored the relationship between numbers and beauty by analyzing musical harmony. This quadrivium later became the core of Western liberal arts education, influencing the curriculum from Plato's Academy to medieval universities. Pythagoras defined philosophy as the love of wisdom, and was the first to call himself a philosopher. In his view, life is like the Olympic Games. Some people compete for fame and fortune. Some people rush about for business, while philosophers are pure observers, pursuing truth itself. rather than external rewards. This attitude of putting spiritual pursuit above material desire laid the transcendental character of Western philosophy. The idea of gender equality in the community was also quite advanced. Pythagoras' wife Theano is regarded as the first female mathematician in ancient Greece, and many female members have made remarkable achievements in academics. Pythagoras' thought, through Plato's absorption and transformation, profoundly shaped the Western philosophical tradition. The inscription "Let no one ignorant of geometry enter here" at the entrance of Plato's academy is precisely the inheritance of Pythagorean number theory thought. The Neoplatonist Plotinus equated numbers with the world of ideas, and the Christian theologian Augustine associated the sacred tetracties with the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, putting this ancient number theory in a religious cloak. In the field of science, Pythagoras' view of cosmic harmony inspired Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Kepler admitted in Harmonies of the World that it was Pythagoras' theory of musical proportions that led him to discover that the cube of the planetary orbit radius is proportional to the square of the orbital period. Newton's philosophy, Naturalis Principia Mathematica, pushed this idea of a mathematized universe to the peak, describing the movement of all things with calculus equations, from the vibration of harp strings to the operation of planets, which indeed follow the digital rhythm predicted by Pythagoras. Pythagoras' life is full of legends. It is said that he could communicate with animals and appear in different places at the same time. These mythical records make his image blurred between history and legend. He was both a rigorous mathematician and a mysterious religious teacher. He put forward verifiable geometric theorems and advocated the reincarnation theory of soul transmigration. This contradiction precisely reflects the characteristics of human beings. Early exploration of the world, reason and faith were not yet separated, and science and philosophy were still integrated. His school was eventually destroyed because of its involvement in political struggles. The people of Croton burned down their meeting place. Pythagoras was forced to flee and finally died in a fire in Metapontum. But once the spark of thought is ignited, it cannot be extinguished. His disciples scattered all over Greece, passing down number theory knowledge and philosophical thoughts from generation to generation, becoming an important link for Greek civilization to pass to Rome, the Arab world, and even modern Europe.